Now after the demolding is done, now the next stage is finishing. So there are a lot of finishing stages also, and there are a lot of finishes which will be in a lot of depth, so I cannot explain everything, but basically what you have to remember is there are some basic finishes that are done, which is glossy, semi glossy, satin finish and matte finish. So there are a lot of other finishes also which are done in it is a very vast subject of finishing also, and most important subject. But this basic thing is finishing is done in you have to take your project, cut the edges, because the edges will be imperfect always. The edges will never be perfect. So that is the reason why when you do your mold also, just keep some spacing so that you understand. So this all the sides, the edges will be always cut. So just remember that when you do the mold also, just keep some spacing. As I told you, it's just a concept that we are explaining. It is in a lot of depth, so that is the reason why there are higher courses also. So in those courses we are explaining to you in detail how everything is done, because it is a very vast topic. This table making is a very vast topic, so it cannot be explained in a small span of time. It has to be explained also in detail, and it has to be practiced also. So basically I have to just remember that you have to cut the edges also when you demold it, and before starting the finishing stage, you have to get rid of the sides, like how you can see in the video. Get rid of the sides, and then you do the sanding. See how you can see sanding is done so that you can get a level. Now it is the time we are finishing your product. So now to do this, as I told also, there are a lot of ways to do the finishing. So there are machines also which you can use, which is called CNC machine, and there are routers or there are grinders that we use also here. But basically what you have to remember is you have to smoothen the surface now, because there will be a lot of left resin on top, or your surface will be not uniform. So that is the reason you have to just do the sanding. And sanding is also done in there are a lot of grids, which the sanding pads is called sanding pads. So you have to use multiple sanding pads, starting from the lowest as in it will be 36. The lowest will be 36, so you can start from there depending on how your product looks like. You have to use accordingly. So it starts from 36, then it just travels till the 3000. So from 36 to 60 to 80 to 120 to 150 to 180. So gradually it travels to till 3000. After you do the sanding, then there is a process, because the finishing is also done in a lot of other stages also. So accordingly, what kind of finish you need, you have to plan your sanding process also accordingly. So after you do after you sand till 3000, you have to just use a polish and buff it. So this will give you a semi gloss finish. The next will be you have to just apply a wax which will give you a matte finish. And also there is a higher complicated, a very expert level finish, which is glossy. For that glossy, you have to after you remove and cut the edges, you have to just coat it with this other epoxy, which I already mentioned, which is called coating resin, coating epoxy. So that is a bit thicker one, thicker resin. So these are the ways you can finish it. So once the finishing is done, so the process is complete. So the next stages will be you have to plan the legs of it, legs as in the base to hold your table. So once that is done, so your project is already done. So you are good to go.